This is our third year in New York, kicking off CE Week, which is an exciting week-long festival of technology and innovation. And we're thrilled to be able to be talking about the future of transportation and technology and the future of mobility with all of our attendees, guests, sponsor companies. We thank you for being here today. We thank the folks at CE Week for allowing us to be part of the kickoff for the week-long festival.
It's such an exciting time. I mean, the last 5 years has just been incredible what's going on. And I really do think we're at the beginning of that. And as Jeff referenced, we have a lot of challenges to overcome. But technology, that's what technology does, right? Mm-hmm. So, it's a good lead into my first question. I want to ask some of you guys, what do you think is the biggest breakthrough we've experienced in car connectivity over the last 5 years or what have you? What do you think, what do you guys see as the biggest breakthrough?
I'll start. I've been at Pandora for just about 5 years, and as Kathy said, even then, technology in the car, at least access to IP-based services like Pandora or others, really was just at it's very nascent. I'd say we're still in the early stages, but it was incredibly nascent at the time. The breakthrough for me has been seeing delivery across the platforms, this first generation of systems, more widespread consumer understanding that these services can be delivered into the car, into an interface that they're used to using rather than on the phone. And I think this is now going to lead to the next phase, which is all about taking the consumer demand that we're seeing. We've had 10 million people use our integrated systems thus far. That's pretty remarkable. But there's massive opportunity to expand that beyond. And I think, honestly, the answer to really tapping into that opportunity is providing a simpler experience. And I'm sure we'll talk about more about what that means. But
right. And
yes.
consumers are demanding that, their expectations. They expect to have that in their vehicles. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. So from my perspective, just how ubiquitous cellular has become, how ubiquitous everybody has a smartphone today. Right. And that has been the bridge, I think, that has let people at their leisure, if you will, learn how to use good consumer interfaces to do a lot of things with the technology. And in the vehicle space, we always have to remember people, of course, are driving. That's the primary goal. And so if people didn't become so familiar with how to, press a button or swipe a screen or do those kinds of things that it becomes second nature, it would have been very difficult to actually introduce that into vehicles right. As a first way of using GUI. So that we couldn't have been the mover there. We needed to be the follower so that people could be trained, I think, off board the vehicle and then bring it in a natural way. And then now we just have so much more capability of making that user interface strong because big screens and sort of a beautiful layout, integrations to clusters and things like that. I mean, there's really a lot of opportunity.
Very good.
Right.
Okay, so maybe this is a little cliche, but it's Moore's law, right? It's just the effect of more and more processing capability. Right. Everywhere, right? Not just in the vehicle, because that's important, right? We have more processing capability in the head units of these vehicles to enable these nicer graphics displays and present a better user interface. Yeah. But we've got more processing capability in the network spaces that are connecting everything together. Right. So, I mean, I think in some ways, it's a natural evolution of more computational power. And then it's really all of the folks up here that are working with companies that are able to harness that additional power and put it to use in connected vehicle systems.
Right. Ted, I want to hear from you.
Yeah, I would say, really resonating what everyone else has already said, but, even boil it even more simple. I would say the most significant difference has been the smartphone. That has, as Kathy mentioned, it really gave us the connectivity in almost every consumer's pocket. Right. So I remember 12 or 15 years ago talking about how we were going to put long-range WiMAX, 802.16 in a car, right. so that we could have some form of IP connectivity in the vehicle. The smartphone really solved all that. When we launched with Pandora and Jeff in 2009. We were one of the first partners to put Pandora in the car. It was through the smartphone. So suddenly we had connectivity for that, and it's only grown from there. So the fact that the consumer has now embraced the smartphone to be such a ubiquitous device, that has been the most significant point for us, certainly, as we now can connect to that consumer's smartphone and do so much to improve their lives, whether it's convenience or safety or entertainment.
Yeah.